Oh no. What's up guys, his name is Ray and welcome to another Genshin Impact video, and today I want to show you the top 5 4-star characters that are worth to build. And yeah, of course there is no optimal build for 4-star characters, which are the best 4-star characters. This is very subjective and based on experience from my side. Yeah, now without further ado, let's hop into the first character. To keep this as easy as possible, I just want to show you some practical videos. So we started with number 5, which is Barbara in my eyes. So on the screen right now you can see Barbara healing with a tick of 2000 life in a couple of seconds with her E ability. So Barbara basically is a champion or a character that is not on the field. She doesn't fight at all, so that's the reason why we only can see a Razor fighting. But what she's doing, you just swap her in, use her E, and then you swap her out just to get the heal for your main character or for your DPS character. So use your E, swap back, and run into the fight, and just pay attention on the health bar. And yeah, as you can see, he got back to 7,000 life from 5,000 life, so just 2k life if you do a right build. I will show the builds at the end of the footage. So Barbara is a very easy but in my eyes also boring character to use. You only have to press E and then swap her out, and then she heals to a very good amount. And same with the ultimate, you just have to press the ultimate and get a very high amount of life back. Now in practical fights it is also not very hard to use, so press the ultimate and get back your main character if he is on a low amount of HP. So right now on the screen you can see some stats for Barbara that my friends are using or that I'm using. So we just chose one of a image to give an example to how you can build a Barbara. So Barbara is very easy to build if you want to use her as a full healer support. So the only thing you have to do is to max out her HP and maybe give her some defensive stats. She doesn't need attack at all, and maybe some health regeneration. So for that we built her with a full maiden set to increase the character healing effectiveness by 15%, and also if you use a elemental skill or burst, which is either the E or the Q ability, it also increases your regeneration for 20%, but just for 10 seconds. Yeah, next thing is the weapon that, no, not the weapon, that's the weapon. Okay, the weapon that you can use for her is a very good 3-star weapon. It is the Thrilling Tales of Dragon Slayers. The reason why I would recommend this weapon is it gives HP percentage, which most of the 4-star weapons don't give. Another opportunity would be energy recharge, so you can use her ultimate more often, but this is totally fine to increase the effectiveness of her healing. Number 4 is Changyan. Changyan is a very nice 4-star DPS character to build. The main important thing on him is that he mainly deals damage with his abilities, so he doesn't do too much damage with pure auto attacks like other Claymore users would do. So you mainly only want to press E and Q over and over again. So still you want to build offensive stats, attack, like you would do usually on him. So yeah, the fastest way to kill your enemies is always to apply the cryo effect. So this will increase your damage by a very high amount. So yeah, always press like E, ultimate, E, and ultimate. So yeah, you can see that he is doing a huge amount of damage on the Ruin Guard applying the cryo effect, but without applying the cryo effect, the damage is way lower than with the cryo effect. So yeah, look at this again, dealing a very nice amount of damage because it additionally applies the cryo damage to the normal damage, but only using the normal damage doesn't do too much DPS for Changyan. Alright, as I said, for Changyan you want to have some offensive stats, so you mainly want to build his attack stat. If you like to, you can add in cryo damage bonus and maybe elemental mastery if he is your main DPS character, but I wouldn't focus on elemental mastery. I would focus as much as you can on attack percentage for Changyan, so you get a very high amount of HP and attack if you just build him natural like that. So let's look at a possible artifact set. So this is a artifact set that you may already have in your box. So usually I wouldn't use the Berserker set, but it is the second best set to use after a attack percentage set. So if you aren't able to build a full gladiator set or 2 attack percentage set, you can go for a crit rate just for now. Talking about the weapon, the prototype minus is a very solid weapon for him. It gives attack percentage. It is actually a good weapon for any Claymore user that is your main DPS character. You deal additional damage with your normal attacks, which is very good for Changyan. And number 3 on the list is Bidu, or Baidu, whatever you want to call her. So this decision is a bit biased from my side because she is my main character, but I do think she is one of the hardest to use character with a very high skill cap, because the main reason that you want to do is she doesn't do too much damage with auto attacks or with the abilities if you don't utilize them right. She doesn't do more damage than any other 4-star characters in particular, but what she is doing is she has a ability, her E-skill, which is the Tide Collar, which is doing exactly this. You want to do full counter mechanic or the charge mechanic, and utilizing this ability, as you can see, is dealing a huge amount of damage to your enemies. So if you don't time it right, the enemy also can dodge it, so it is a bit harder to use it against bosses. And yeah, timing for this ability is very important. It can deal, as you just saw it on the screen, I did do a 2000. So stats wise, she is the same as Changyan. You want to build her as offensive as possible. She has the possibility to go on a more defensive set if you like to want to utilize her Tide Collar even more. For me, she is a very normal DPS character, because I really like to use her abilities and her auto attack still. Yeah, so for the artifact sets, so this is actually my Bidu. I did use a full martial artist set. I even used 3-star artifacts on that. Possibly you can go, or what I would recommend is a gladiator set with attack percentage, or you can even go and split these sets into 2-piece sets, like a gladiator set and a martial artist set, or another 18% attack damage buff. So the most important thing is, if you like to use her as your main DPS, I would definitely recommend to do a attack percentage set. So yeah, looking at the set, it increases my normal attack and charged attack damage, so this also means that the Tide Collar is affected by that. Same as with the 4-piece effect, after using elemental skill, increases normal attack and charge attack damage by 25% for 8 seconds. So usually this means for every 8 seconds I get a 40% damage buff if I use the Tide Collar or my normal attacks. The next thing is the weapon, which I also do use the prototype and minus. I do think that it is one of the best 4-star weapons that you can get, because you can also craft it. And yeah, it gives attack percentage, which is huge for the character. Also normal or charge attacks or buffed, which it does synergize very well with Bidu. It does even synergize better than with Changyan than with Bidu. But yeah, personally, as I said, my decision is a bit biased on that, because I really like Bidu, so you technically can also put her out of the top 5 on the top 5, so yeah, it doesn't really matter. Okay, number 2 to build in my eyes would be Razor. Razor is a character that is very nice to play. You will deal a very high amount of damage even in your elemental skills, but mainly in physical damage. So just apply the electro effect. Attacking will give him a very high amount of damage. I think you already did see this in the Barbara footage that I just provided at the beginning of the video, but just look at his normal damage. We do not apply any additional elemental reaction, just pure auto attacks, normal attacks on the Creo Regizvin, and now we have a short fight against the Ruin God, also just doing pure auto attacks, not applying any additional elements besides the electro element from Razor, doing an additional amount of very high physical damage. Okay, it's just the same again for Razor, a very offensive character, a very glass cannon character. You just want to jump in and kill the enemies. In my eyes, one of the easier characters to use. So stats wise, you also want to go for full attack, but utilizing his physical damage is important. So yeah, he also really profits from the prototype A minus, so I can highly recommend to craft this weapon if you are using a Claymore character as your 4-star main DPS character. For builds, it is actually the same like Bidu and like Changyan. You can build a Gladiator set. Luckily, we have a 5-star one on him and a Berserker set because we don't have a second attack set, or we aren't able to build out the Gladiator's final set to a 4-piece set. So as I already mentioned, crit rate is the second best to pick after attack, so crit rate can increase your damage a bit more consistent if you aren't able to build another attack percentage set. So number 1 definitely in my eyes is Fischl. She is the best Forcer character, dealing as the role as a main supporter, still able to do a very high amount of damage. Also very easy to use. All you have to do is to put her in. If you want to use her as a supporter, just put in your bird or whatever that animal is and then just swap her out to your main DPS character. But still, you can also use her as the main DPS character. Just looking at the footage right now, she is doing a very huge amount of damage. Now for this, we just tested out in a fight against the Enemo Hypostasis, mainly only using Fischl without swapping out any characters to build elemental reactions. So you can see her auto attack and normal attack damage, which can be still very high if you build her offensive. So she can be a DPS character, she can be a support, she's very versatile to use and very easy to use. So also her charged auto attacks deal a massive amount of damage. So you just saw a 1150 crit, another 1150 crit using the bird, killing all the enemies in the world. So because she is such a versatile character, you have a lot of different builds that you can use on her. You can also build attack on her. You can use elemental mastery, energy recharge to use her abilities more often, her ultimate more often, or if you want to use her as a pure DPS, you also can just go for the raw attack percentage. Now, what do we have here? We did build a crit rate Berserker set and a elemental mastery set just to trigger her elemental reactions even faster. Crit rate just because we don't have another attack percentage rate. Yeah, for the weapon, it is very easy to use a elemental mastery weapon, the stringless. There are a couple of other weapons that are very viable on her, so you don't have to have this specific weapon. You can use a weapon with a energy recharge, which I would personally use. So yeah, if you guys know, this is or these are images from my friend that they provided me, so thanks to them. Special shout out to my friends for providing me the images and the footage for the video. And yeah, increasing elemental skill and elemental burst damage is, I think, a very good effect on this weapon. Also, the weapon is on a refinement rank of 4, so actually if I would have this weapon at this level, I would use it too, but I'd rather prefer a weapon with energy recharge just to get her abilities more often, because I want to utilize the bird as much as possible to trigger the elemental mastery, elemental effects for my main DPS characters. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video of my twist, my take on the top 5 or best 5 4-star characters in the game. So keep in mind that there is no best 5 4-star characters, so the list is still very subjective, even if I try to rate the characters as objective as possible and try to not to be too biased in for some reasons. Yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, subscribe to my channel for more Genshin Impact content, and I see you guys next time. If you guys enjoyed today's video and want to see more Genshin Impact content, videos should pop up on the screen right now, and make sure to check them out. Thank you for your support.